Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us on this journey on Bhagavad Gita. So we'll start with invocation prayer, invoking the mercy of the Lordships and the Guru Parampara, and then we'll continue with our discussion for today. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru dinatarinim Paramananda madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratshe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchah Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So last time we discussed chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, which is known as Sankhya Yoga, or it's also called Contents of Gita Summarized. And we discussed half of chapter 1, half of chapter 2 last time. So in chapter 2, it starts with Arjuna's surrender to Lord Krishna. Arjuna had put many doubts, many questions, or many reasons why he does not want to fight in this war. And finally, he says, I do not know what is best for me. I do not know what to do. So indecision. And in that state, he surrenders unto Lord Krishna that you please guide me. I am a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. What is my duty? What is best for me to do? So Bhagavad Gita, as I said, Bhagavad Gita is meant for intelligent class of people. Okay. And the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to help us make the right choices, make the right decisions. And in the world, there are two types of people. Okay, one category of people, they are wise. And the other category of people, they are otherwise. And Bhagavad Gita is meant to make otherwise into wise. Okay, so that is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So we can make the right decisions, we can make the right choices. Now, what happens is, making decisions actually is a very difficult task. Okay, making the right decision is a very difficult task. If everything is very smooth, very straightforward in our life, then life is just going on smoothly. Right? For example, you are driving in a straight road. So you are just driving in a straight road, it's very easy. But when you come to an intersection, now on that intersection, to turn left or to turn right, you have to make a decision. Okay, you have to know where to turn. Should I make a left turn or right turn? So same way in the life also, sometimes the situations are very straightforward and it's very easy. Life is just going smooth. But when there are some situations in life, some problems in life, some conflicts in life, at that stage, when you have to make the decision, how to make the right decision, it's very difficult. And how do we make decisions generally? Based on how we identify ourselves. Okay? So based on how we identify ourselves, that's how we are going to make the decisions. An example I gave last time, the analogy of a judge. So judge is sitting on his chair in the courtroom. The criminals are brought in front to him, or the people who are convicted for some crime, they are brought in front of the judge, and judge is doing the hearing and making decisions. Now, if his own son is convicted for something and his own son is brought in front of him in the court, how does he make a decision? Now, it depends how the judge identifies himself. If he is primarily identifying himself as the judge, then his decision will be, okay, no matter who is in front of me, my own son, I have to give the right judgment, I have to give him punishment. But if that person now identify himself as a father, now then he will think, I have to get my son off the hook by any ways, by any means. Right? That is my primary goal, because he is identifying himself primarily as a father. So the way we make decisions in life, it depends how we identify ourselves. That's why, first of all, understanding our identity is very important. And Lord Krishna spent the first section of chapter 2 in giving us our real identity, who we are. Okay, we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. For the body there is death, but for the soul there is no death. The soul has been moving in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, the soul will move on to another body. And an intelligent person, a sober person, is not bewildered by this phenomena. Okay, so that is the knowledge of soul. And I also mentioned the principle of soul, Atma, Karma, and reincarnation. These three go hand in hand. If one has a complete understanding of these three things, soul, karma, and reincarnation, then many of the puzzles of this world will not puzzle us. Right? Many of the situations of this world we can very easily understand why something is happening. When the question come in mind, why something bad is happening to me or to somebody else who seems to be a very good person, why is that bad happening? And it's very easy to make sense of any situation by understanding these three principles together: soul, karma, and reincarnation. And also we discussed in the last session how it is chosen, that what type of body one will get in the next life. And Krishna says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grahanati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So Krishna is giving an analogy that as we give up the old garments and put on the new garments, same way the soul gives up the old and useless body and accepts a new body. So that is the concept of reincarnation. But then who decides? On what factors somebody decide what type of body are we going to get in the next life? Right? That depends on the account of our karma balance. And for example, based on how much money we have in our account, one can decide to live in a 2-bedroom apartment or a 3-bedroom apartment or buy a nice house. And if somebody is not able to pay for the bigger house, they may be demoted to the lower house. So it depends on their bank balance. And same way, based on your bank balance, how much you can afford, you may decide to fly in an economy flight or in a business class or in a first class. Okay, so it depends on the choice and also on the bank balance. So these are the two factors. Okay, 2D, desires and deserve. Based on that, it is determined what type of body somebody may get, what type of life form one may get. So we see in this world there are so many different variety of people. Somebody is healthy, somebody is with disease condition, somebody is very handsome, beautiful, somebody is ugly, somebody is born poor, somebody is born rich, somebody is born in a mediocre circumstances, somebody is born in a very opulent circumstances. Why all these different things happen? Why there is so much discrimination? Is God partial? But behind everything there is a concept of karma acting on that. And somebody asked the question last time towards the end of the class, then how to understand like why somebody is suffering in this life? Because in this lifetime one may not have done anything wrong. Is the karma from previous lives also coming forward in this lifetime, or we exhaust our karma within this lifetime? Because many people do not believe in the concept of karma, or they do not believe in the concept of reincarnation. Okay, there are different variety of people. Some people believe in karma, but they don't believe in reincarnation. They said yes, karma is there, but you have to get the positive result or negative result all in this lifetime only. This is the one life all in all. So whatever activity we do, we have to face their consequences in this lifetime only. Some people believe in reincarnation, they do not believe in the concept of karma. Okay, that's why there is a problem. They cannot understand why something bad is happening to somebody seeming as a good person. So we have to understand both together, karma and reincarnation, both together. Then it can solve many of the mysteries. And I will quote one example, one story from Mahabharata itself, which explains this concept of karma and reincarnation, that it applies in our next lifetimes also. Okay, now we know in this war of Kurukshetra, all the Kauravas, all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, they were killed in the war. Duryodhana, Dushasana and all their other 98 brothers, they were all killed. And after the war was over, Yudhishthira became the king. Lord Krishna, he came to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra asked this question to Krishna. Hey, I am such a good person. I don't think I have done something wrong. All I wanted was the well-being of my children. I wanted Duryodhana to become the king. But I don't think I did anything wrong. Why? First of all, I was born blind. And then on top of that, I have 100 sons and all the 100 sons got killed in this war. Why did this happen to me? I don't think I have done such a wrong thing in this lifetime to face such type of reaction. And Lord Krishna's answer to Dhritarashtra, that you are talking about this lifetime. First of all, yes, in this lifetime also you have made many wrong choices. You were too attached to your son. And to fulfill all his desires, you made many plots against Pandavas. But even beyond this lifetime, actually Dhritarashtra claimed that I can remember my 50 lifetimes. I don't think I have done such any nasty thing to face such kind of reaction. And Lord Krishna said, you are talking about 50 lifetimes. I can remember your innumerable lifetimes. Okay, unlimited lifetimes, infinite lifetimes. You are talking about 50 lifetimes back, 100 lifetimes back. You were the son of a hunter. Okay? And in your youth, while your father was away, in your playing spirit, you climbed up on a tree. On that tree, there was a nest of a bird. Okay? And in that nest, they had given birth to their 100 children. The 100 eggs were there, and those eggs had just hatched. So the 100 baby birds had just come out of those eggs. And you climbed up on that tree with a sharp thorn. You blinded the father bird. Okay, you poked that sharp needle, sharp thorn into the eye of the father bird. You blinded the father bird. Then you put fire to that nest in which all the 100 baby birds were roasted alive. They were all killed in that fire. And because you did that heinous act of blinding the father bird and killing all the 100 baby birds, you are facing the reaction of that. You were born blind, and then you got 100 sons, and all 100 sons are killed in the fire of this war. Dhritarashtra said, okay, I can understand the concept of karma, but if I had to face that concept, the karma, why not right then and there? Why you had to wait 100 lifetimes to give me this reaction now? Okay, that is the question comes, right? That why the reaction is coming after such a long time now, after so many lifetimes. I did not do anything wrong in this lifetime. So Dhritarashtra also has same question. Why after so many lifetimes? Why you did not give me the reaction right then? Krishna says the fruit, it takes time to mature. So same way any karma, it takes time for the karma to mature. Okay, was there any question by somebody? No. Okay. Yes, recording will be available. But Krishna said for the karma to mature, it takes time. So you roasted alive the 100 sons, 100 baby birds, and you have to face the same reaction. You have to get 100 sons first to face that consequence. And to be able to get one son, it takes so much of pious karma to be able to get one son. And you had to get 100 sons. First you have to accumulate that much pious karma to be able to get 100 sons. So during all these lifetimes, you accumulated some pious karma that in this lifetime you got 100 sons. Now you are getting that reaction of your bad karma also, that your 100 sons are killed. So first of all, you were born blind because you blinded the father bird, and all your 100 sons are killed. So that is the law of karma. Okay. So we have to be very careful how we act in this life, how we perform our activities. So Arjuna had posed 5 different questions or 5 different concerns why he does not want to participate in this war. His first concern was compassion for the family members. That I have to kill these family members, my relatives, my cousins in this war. So Lord Krishna answers that concern in the first section of this chapter, where Lord Krishna talks about, you are talking about this at the bodily level. Okay, first of all, we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. And for the soul, there is no death. So you should not worry in executing your duty. So you should act at the level of ethical decision, not at the level of emotional decision. So Lord Krishna gives the first lesson as our real identity, because once we understand our identity, then we can act on that level. And we have 2 levels of identity. Okay, we have functional identity and fundamental identity. You know what is the difference in functional identity and fundamental identity? Functional identity is based on the bodily designation. Being a father, that's a functional identity. Being an engineer or a doctor, that's a functional identity. Okay, I belong to India or America, that's also functional identity. And what is our fundamental identity? Fundamental identity is when we know ourselves to be the spirit soul, we belong to the Supreme Lord, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. That is our fundamental identity. Okay, so we have so many functional identities, and people generally in this world, they act based on the level of functional identity. They make their decision how they identify themselves. And Arjuna was also making his decision based on functional identity. I am Kurunandana. I belong to this family lineage. They are all my brothers and relatives. So he was making his decision based on functional identity. And Lord Krishna now takes him from functional identity to fundamental identity and tells him that you should act at the level of fundamental identity. So first concern of Arjuna is answered, compassion for the family member, by saying, for the soul there is no death. Okay, soul is ever existing. They will give up this body and they will go to the next body, maybe to a better life condition. But further, Lord Krishna now talks to Arjuna, answering his second concern. His second concern was loss of enjoyment. Or third concern was the fear of sinful reaction, that I have to face the sin by killing these people. So Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that if you do not participate in this war, if you run away from your duty as a functional duty also, because you are a Kshatriya, it's your functional duty also to participate in this war. If you do not participate in this war, you run away from this war, that will cause sin for you. Okay? So sin will not be to fight in this war for dharma, but sin will be to give up this war and run away from this war. That will be sin. And you are saying you will lose the enjoyment. Actually, if you fight in this war, if you die also, then you will attain to Swarga. That's also granting happiness, because in Swarga there are much more opulences than earthly planet. So that will also lead to happiness. And if you win this war, then you will gain this whole earthly kingdom. Right? You guys will become the ruler of this earth planet. So that will still be leading to happiness. So in both situations, if you die in this war while fighting or you win this war, both are as a win-win situation for you. In both situations, it will grant happiness for you. So Lord Krishna is now encouraging Arjuna to do his duty of fighting. Now Lord Krishna is talking about the principle of karma, but many people have this confusion or this misconception that karma or karma yoga is same thing. Many people think karma means karma yoga. No, we have to understand very clearly what is karma and what is karma yoga. Okay, so let's go systematically. Let's start from the level of vikarma. Vikarma means sin. Okay, so at the lowest ladder is vikarma, sinful activity. And what is called vikarma? Vikarma is doing any activity in this world for our own enjoyment by disobeying the laws of God. Okay, by disobeying the principles of scriptures. That is called vikarma. Okay, let me repeat it once again. Vikarma is doing the activities in this world for our own personal selfish enjoyment by disobeying the laws of God. That is called vikarma. So that is called sinful activity. And sinful activity will bring negative reaction, which causes misery in this life or in the next lives. So that is vikarma. Now, many of our activity which we perform day to day life, we may be doing certain things for our enjoyment by disregarding the principles of the Shastras. So that is vikarma, that is sinful activity. For example, if we are eating something which is not sanctioned for our consumption, that is vikarma. Earning money by some means which are not sanctioned means, that is called vikarma. Okay. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that don't engage in sinful activity. If you do not participate in this war, for you that is sinful activity. So perform your duty with the desire to gain the earthly kingdom. So from vikarma, the next level is called sakama karma, or simply it's called karma. Okay, sakama karma means sakama, with desires to enjoy the result of our activity. That is called sakama karma. So people perform the activities within this world for their enjoyment, but now by following the principles of scripture, by following the injunctions of scripture, the laws of God, then it becomes sakama karma. Okay, so very clear difference between vikarma and sakama karma. In sakama karma, still somebody is acting for their own personal enjoyment, but now by following the laws of God. For example, a good citizen in the state, in the country, they are following all the laws of the state, all the laws of the country. They are following the traffic laws. They are paying their taxes properly on time. They are paying all their utility bills on time. They are not throwing trash on the street. So they are following all the state laws and they are doing their activities with which, while following all the laws, they can enjoy. Okay, so same way here, doing the activities for our personal enjoyment to enjoy the result of our work, but that work is sanctioned, that is followed as per by the laws of scripture, then it becomes sakama karma. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't do vikarma, come to the level of sakama karma. In that way, even if you die, you will attain Swarga. If you win, you will get earthly kingdom. But now at least that activity is sanctioned for you as a Kshatriya, as a warrior. Now, but sakama karma is also binding, because you do good activity, you will get the good reaction for that. Okay, you will get the good reaction for that also. You have to come back, take another birth to get the good result of your previous good actions. Even if somebody goes to Swarga, now Swarga is also not permanent destination. Please understand very clearly. Many people think, अरे हमें तो स्वर्ग में जाना है, बस स्वर्ग चाहिए. Going to Swarga also is not permanent destination. Okay? Understand it with this example. If you have lot of money in your account, you can choose to go to a nice resort, nice holiday destination, stay in resort for some days. Now, as you are staying in the resort there, you are paying the money. Your money has been getting deducted from your account. And once that money is over, if you do not have any more money to pay for your expenses in that resort, now will they allow you to stay there anymore? Okay, they will kick you out. Now, okay, you stayed here for a few days, now you do not have enough money to pay for our bills here, so please get out. So same way in Swarga, somebody can go to Swarga, somebody can go to the higher planets within this material world based on their accumulated good karma. So based on accumulated good karma, they go to higher loka, Swarga, where their good karma are being exhausted. So they are paying for all the facilities in Swarga based on their accumulated good karma. And when the result of good karma is over, what will happen? Kshine punne mrityu lokam vishanti. The person is again thrown back from the higher planets down to earth or to the lower planets. Because higher planets, the Swargaloka, Janlok, Maharlok, Tapalok, they are all places of exhausting our karma. The lower planets than earthly kingdom, the lower planetary system, the hellish planets and all, they are also to exhaust karma. Higher planets, somebody is exhausting their good karma. Lower planets, they are exhausting their bad karma. And once their account is exhausted, they sent back to earth to again generate karma. Again people take birth on earth in different species of life to accumulate karma. Again they keep going up or down. So this is going to Swarga or going to the lower planets. It's like taking a ride on the roller coaster. We are going up and down, up and down, up and down. And this way, this whole cycle of birth, death, old age, disease is going on and on and on. So Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna that okay, you can come to the level of sakama karma, but that's also not very intelligent proposition. Okay, so better than that, what you need to do is, now here Lord Krishna is telling that you need to perform. In between text 39 to 46 of chapter 2, Lord Krishna is talking about the principle of bhakti. Is there a way that somebody can come out of this cycle of birth and death? Somebody can cut down this bondage of karma? Lord Krishna says there is one way. If somebody acts on buddhi yoga, here buddhi yoga is referring to bhakti yoga. Because what is bhakti yoga? When somebody works for Krishna in that consciousness, that is called akarma. Okay, we talked about vikarma, we talked about sakama karma. Now another category of karma is called akarma. Akarma does not mean not doing action. Akarma means doing an activity in a way which does not bring any reaction. Okay, that is called akarma. And that is bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means which takes us beyond the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature Krishna is going to explain in the future chapters. But as you know, second chapter is summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. So here Krishna is giving in a very condensed way. So somebody need to go beyond the three modes of material nature, which is goodness, passion and ignorance. Satavguna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So Krishna says try to go beyond these three modes of material nature. And if somebody takes to this process of bhakti yoga, what will happen in process of bhakti yoga? Even if somebody makes little progress, then that is not lost at any time. So text 40, chapter 2, text 40 is a very wonderful text. Neha bhikrama nasho asti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apiyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So Krishna says, if somebody acts on the level of buddhi yoga, in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. A little advancement, swalpam apiyasya dharmasya. Somebody make little advancement on this path. It can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Okay. Trayate mahato bhayat. And what is the most dangerous type of fear? People have different type of fear in this world. Somebody has a fear of infamy. Somebody has fear of death. Somebody has fear of losing their near and dear ones. Somebody has fear of losing their money. Somebody has fear of water. Somebody has fear of height. There are so many different type of phobia. Okay, in the 21st century, there are two new type of phobias, two new type of fears introduced. You know what are these two new type of fear introduced in 21st century? One is fear of terrorism. Second is fear of rejection. Okay, fear of being rejected by their own relatives or near and dear ones to whom they love the most, and that person may reject you. So that is a fear of rejection. So people have so many different type of fear, and among that, what is the biggest type of fear is fear of death. For somebody it may be fear of infamy, because Krishna also spoke to Arjuna, if you do not participate in this war, if you go away from this war thinking you are very compassionate towards your relatives, but they will speak of your infamy. They will not say, oh, Arjuna left the war because he was so much concerned about ourselves. They will think Arjuna was a cowardly person. They will speak ill words about you. And for a respected person who has been honored so much, for him, death is, dishonor is worse than death. Maranat atiruchyate. Krishna says, for such person who has been respected earlier people spoke about your glory. Arjuna is such powerful warrior. He has so many wonderful weapons accumulated from all different Devi Devatas. Now the same people will speak ill words about you. They will think Arjuna is a cowardly person. He ran away from this war. So people have many different type of fear. Fear of death is of the highest type. Everybody is afraid of death, which comes for certain. Nobody can escape death. But now here Krishna is saying, if somebody acts on the level of buddhi yoga, bhakti yoga, then one is protected from the biggest type of fear. Why? Because somebody engages in this process of bhakti, then they will not have to continue taking birth in this material world. They will go back to their eternal home, back to the Supreme Lord. Bhagwan ke paas wapas jayenge. And little progress on this path, it is not lost. Contrary to that, in this material world, we know everything begins with something and then everything ends. In this material world, the child takes birth, he learns so many different things. He learns alphabets, A, B, C, D, K, K, G. But at the time of death, everything is lost. Even though somebody has PhD, double PhD, MBA, double MBA, masters from most prestigious college, university of this world, but in the next life, he again has to start from Ka Kha Ga. Right? One cannot say, oh, in my previous life, I accumulated so much of material knowledge, so much of degrees and awards and everything. No, you have to again start with Ka Kha Ga. In one lifetime, somebody may have accumulated $1 billion, but based on their karma, next life, if they're born in the house of a pauper, they again start from zero. They have nothing left. So material life, everything is lost. But Krishna is saying in spiritual life, if somebody take to the spiritual life, engages in this process of bhakti yoga, for them there is no loss. And we know even in this material life also, if somebody is very consistent, they're working hard, small endeavor can yield to big result. Right? If somebody stays consistent, slowly they can build upon. But here in this process of bhakti also, that also applies. even small progress, it gets accumulated. And if somebody stops also, that is not lost. Whereas in business, if somebody started, he struggled very hard, first year, second year, third year, little progress. He made little bit progress, but then if he quits, what happens? Will the business keep growing? Or will it at least maintain at that level? No, it will be all lost. But here in spiritual life, it is not lost. But then what Krishna is saying here, even if you make 2% progress in spiritual life, and you are not able to continue making progress in this lifetime, in the next life you will at least start from there. If somebody made 10% progress, 50% progress, in their next life they will continue from that point. Okay, how wonderful is that? It is just like even in the first life, if you fail to get the full success, you are still awarded. Just imagine a child is appearing in the exam, and even if he fails in the exam, and then he is given as an award to go to a vacation package to Hawaii. How wonderful is that? Even though he failed, but he is awarded to go to Hawaii on vacation. So spiritual life, progressing in spiritual life, in bhakti is like that. Even if somebody did not make complete success, they have nothing to lose. They continue from that same point. And then Krishna does not forget even small service rendered by a devotee. That's how Krishna says, Swalpam apiyasya dharmasya. Somebody makes little progress, somebody does little bit something, Krishna does not forget that. For example, in the pastime of Lord Ramachandra, when the bridge is being built to the ocean to go to Lanka, all the Vanaras, they are bringing big boulders to put those boulders in the ocean to bring this Setu, Rama Setu. And in that activity, there is some small squirrel. She was also coming and helping. She was bringing little small grains of dust particles and just throwing those sand there. And all the Vanaras, they were getting disturbed. This squirrel is running around and we may step over this squirrel. So the squirrel was told, you please sit on the side, let us do our task. And squirrel said, no, I also want to participate in the service of Lord Ram. I also want to do my little contribution. And Vanara said, what will be your contribution? Putting small few particles of sand. We will put one stone on your name. You sit down on the side. And this squirrel said, no, I want to do my own contribution. And this whole case was brought into the court of Lord Ramachandra. And when Lord Ramachandra heard this, he kept the squirrel on his palm and glorified the squirrel, that let her do her service, even though very little service. So Lord does not forget any small service done by a devotee. What matters is our consciousness, that yes, we are doing our endeavor. Lord is not concerned about the result. He is concerned about our endeavor. Are we putting our effort? Are we putting our endeavor or not? Now, even though Lord says that small advancement can yield big result, or small advancement is not lost, now one should not think that, okay, I can do little bit in this lifetime and then remaining I will see in the next life. Because Krishna says even small endeavor, small advancement is not lost. But we have to understand that even though there is no loss if one does little advancement, but we should not stay at the level of little advancement. We should endeavor to make rapid progress. We should make enough advancement. Just like in your material life. If you are not making progress, how do you feel? If you are going to job and after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, there is no increase in your salary, how will you feel? Will you approach your manager, your boss, that what about my salary raise? I have been working all these years but no raise. So everybody want to progress in their material life. Everybody want to progress in their career. But when it comes to spiritual life, then we become lazy. We become complacent. We think, what is the rush? Yeah, let's just keep doing little bit. Once in a while going to temple on Janmashtami, once a year I came to temple, and we feel very good about ourselves. We feel very proud. Oh, I'm a very religious person. See, I went to temple. And people mostly, what they do, they go to temple, take pictures here and there and post on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, everywhere. See, we are such a good people. We are dharmic people. We are going to temple. Yes, Lord Krishna says even little progress is good, but we should not stay at the level of little progress. We should try to make rapid progress or consistent progress in spiritual life. If a mother gives birth to a child, mother is very happy, and when the child smiles for the first time, right, when the child starts kicking his legs and hand, mother is very happy. Now after the child is 2 years, 3 years old, and child is still smiling only, has not started saying anything, any word, he's not saying mama, papa, he's still just smiling, he's just still lying on the bed and not able to walk, he's not even taking first step, he's still crawling after 3 years also. Now will the mother be happy? Now mother will be concerned. Right? Why the child is not making progress? Why the child has not started speaking? Why the child has not started walking or standing? So same way the Lord, even though he is happy when we make little progress, but he will be more happy when we continue to make progress. Not that we just make little progress and just stay there and stop it there. Because Lord is also like our loving father and mother, and he is happy when we make progress in spiritual life, when we are putting our efforts to grow in spiritual life, to go back to Krishna. So Lord Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahu shakha hi anantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. So those who are on this path of Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. And the people whose intelligence is multi-branched, okay, who are irresolute, they are very irresolute. So person, they cannot make progress if their intelligence is multi-branched, if they are not with full determination. On the other side, somebody whose intelligence is fixed, they can make continuous progress on this path. And Krishna uses the word Vyavasai Atmika Buddhi, like a businessman like mentality. A businessman in all situations is thinking of growing his business. Either it's hot summer season or snowing season. He is always thinking of making money, to go to his business and run his business, make money. Even though somebody, if he moves from USA to China or to Japan, he will figure out how he can continue making his business, growing his business. Even if he had to learn a new language or learn the culture of a new place. So a businessman is very focused how to continue growing his business. So Vyavasai Atmika Buddhi. Lord Krishna is also saying on this path, somebody has to be with single pointed attention, like a businessman like mentality. Okay, not diverting our intelligence on different things. Just be focused on this thing. In material life also, if somebody want to progress in one particular field, they have to be focused, they have to be determined. If somebody is making career in the field of music, they have to be very determined, they have to be focused. Every morning, throughout the day, multiple hours, they have to practice their singing skills or their particular music skills. If somebody is making a career in a particular sports, they have to practice, right? Any particular sports people, either it's a tennis or football or cricket, they will start their day morning with practice and so many hours of practice. And same way, businessman, we already gave the example, a businessman is so focused in running his business to grow his business. So same way Krishna is saying in spiritual life, one need to focus on spiritual progress. One need to understand what activities will help me grow in spiritual life and what are the activities which will hinder my progress in spiritual life. So one has to become focused. Just like when we are traveling, during the travel, you do not pack the whole house in the bag. You will carry only those things which are absolutely necessary in your travel. Okay, you don't carry the whole bag. So that is not required. So same way, when somebody want to progress in spiritual life, we do not want to carry everything in our consciousness. Too many distractions. If we are carrying all those too many distractions in our consciousness, it becomes very hard to make progress. So how do we get that one-pointerness? How to get that one-pointerness? For example, somebody say, I want to climb Mount Everest, or I want to win Olympics. So how do we get that one-pointerness? So you focus on that particular activity the most. One may be still doing other activities, but that activity, that one particular activity becomes your most focused attention. If somebody want to make career in cricket, somebody want to become a cricketer, they will focus more on practicing cricket. Even though, yes, they may play volleyball also sometimes, they may play basketball or tennis also, but their most time is spent in practicing cricket. So that is what focus means. One has to focus on one fully, and one can do other activities just out of some interest or for some as a relaxation or fun, something like that. Same thing in studies also. Yeah, if somebody want to become an engineer, if somebody want to become a mechanical engineer or computer engineer, they have to focus on a particular subject matter, let's say math or physics. They may study other things just for out of curiosity to gain little bit understanding, but their focus will be main on that particular subject matter. So same way Krishna says, if somebody want to make progress in bhakti, they need to focus on that. While living in this world, while taking care of our other responsibilities, this activity should become our topmost priority. And then Krishna says, who are these people who are not able to gain that focus, that determination? Okay, what are those things which causes lack of determination, lack of focus? And Krishna answers that. Okay, again, very beautiful verse. Chapter 2, text 44. Bhog aishwarya prasaktanam tya apaharta chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. So, bhog aishwarya prasaktanam tya apaharta chetasam. So, people who are too attached to their sense enjoyment, bhoga. Aishwarya means they are too attached to comfort, material opulences. Tya apaharta chetasa.
Okay, I'm coming up.
Their intelligence is being stolen by these activities. So these people who are too attached to their material opulences, who are too attached to sense enjoyment, who are too attached to their comforts, in their mind, this resolute determination for progress in spiritual life does not take place. Bhoga aishwarya prasaktanam tya apaharta chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. Samadho na vidhiyate. So this resolute determination does not take place. So if somebody is always looking for their enjoyment, whatever the situation may be, whatever the day of the month or the situation of the year maybe, they are always just looking for enjoyment. Okay, today is very sunny. Oh, let's go out, nice weather, let's go out for some visit, some park or something. Temple we can go later also. Today is very nice weather, let's go out. If it's rainy or if it is snowy weather, then somebody is saying, arey, today is too snow or it's raining weather, who will go out? Let's just sit at home. Temple we can go some other time. So if somebody is always just looking for excuses, if somebody is always looking for their own comfort and enjoyment, in the mind of such people, this resolute determination does not take place. Again, we can take example from our material lives also. If a child is supposed to study, okay, the exams are coming, they are supposed to study, but if their mind is too attracted to watching TV, playing video games, then that determination to study does not take place. Somebody want to lose weight, but they are too attached to eating sweets, eating fried food, eating all sort of junk food. They are not able to give up those things. So the resolute determination to lose weight does not take place. So in spiritual life also same principle applies. Even though people understand a little bit, yes, we need to connect with God. We need to come to temple. We should come to spiritual program, satsang program. But then why they are not able to become determined? Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam. Because they are too attached to their own enjoyment and comforts, opulences. They are not able to come out of that cycle. So Krishna is urging to Arjuna, the process of bhakti is so sublime, it can cut down this cycle of birth and death. It can free one from the bondage of karma if one takes to this process of bhakti yoga. But it needs determination. One should progress with determination. And somebody makes even small progress. If something happens in life, okay, their progress is choked. They are not able to make any progress and somebody gives up his life. They die. Then what happens? There is no loss. In the next life, they will start from there. And we can see practical situations. Right? We know somebody who comes in the process of bhakti, who comes in the association of devotees, and all of a sudden he picks up this process and makes such a rapid progress. Whereas somebody may be in the process for 10 years and they are still stuck there. They are not moving forward anymore. Or they are not making any much fast, tangible progress. Why is that difference? Because the person who is taking to this process much faster, maybe he has done some level of progress in his previous life and now he's just picking up from that level. But no matter what the situation may be, if we made progress in our previous life or if we are starting from scratch, now we need to take it up. We need to take it up and take it up seriously. Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, with fixed determination, with one-pointed attention. That is what Krishna is saying here. And then Krishna also speak on the principle of Nishkam Karma. Okay? He spoke about the principle of Vikarma, which is sinful activity. Then Sakam Karma, working with desires. Krishna spoke about Bhakti Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, which is Akarma, which can cut down the bondage of this karma. And then also there is something called Nishkama Karma. Because people are mostly attached to doing their work. So Krishna is speaking very beautiful verse here, very popular verse, and many people, they think this is the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, which is not. It's a misconception. Krishna is speaking about the principle of Karma Yoga here, but people take this verse in a wrong intention with a wrong conclusion. They think, oh, we have to just do our karma in this world. And they just keep going on doing their activity, which fall in the category of Vikarma or Sakama Karma, not at the level of Karma Yoga. So Krishna is not talking about doing Vikarma or Sakama Karma. Krishna is talking about doing Karma Yoga. And what is this verse? Chapter 2, text 47, very important verse. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturabhur mate sangostava karmani. Karmanyevadhikaraste. Krishna says you have the right to perform your duty. So people take only 1/4 of this verse. And they say, oh, Krishna says karma karo, hame to apna karma karna hai bas. Wahi hamara sab kuch hai. Kaam hi puja hai. So this is from where this statement came up. Kaam hi puja hai. Meri factory hi mera mandir hai. But Krishna is not telling that here. Krishna is not saying just do karma. Krishna is bringing the concept of karma yoga here. Karmanne evadhikaraste. You have the adhikar to do your duty. You have the right to do your duty. And first of all, this is also against principle of many people, because most of the people think we have the right on the result of our karma. Right? People think हमने काम किया, अभी उसका फल मिलना चाहिए. We should get the result of that. So most people think I have the right to the result. With the least effort, if I can get the most result, I will be happy. The student think, if with the least study I can get the best marks, I will study very less, but I want to get A grade. So they want to do the least work but get the most result. Here it's completely opposite. Krishna is saying you have the right to perform your duty, but ma phaleshu kadachana. But don't get attached to the result. Okay? Don't get attached to the result. Now, Ma phaleshu kadachana. Most people are attached to the result. They do their activity. We go to office. Why? Because we want salary. We want recognition. Somebody will do some work. Why? Either they want money, they want some recognition, they want their name and fame. So people are attached to the result. And Krishna says, you have the right to do your duty, but don't get attached to the result. Now, being attached to the result does not mean not being concerned about the result. Yes, we can be concerned about the result, but don't do your activity by thinking of the result only. Ki, Arey, if result is not coming, why I should do the activity? Do your activity, do your duty, do your karma as a matter of duty. Because a child can study with the desire to get the best marks. Okay, he may study with the desire to pass the exam or to be the topper in the class. So Krishna says, don't study with the desire of that result of passing the exam or studying the result. Then why should I study? Study to understand the subject matter. Yes, you should be concerned about the result, that I want to learn this subject matter. But don't just study with the desire of passing the exam or topping the exam. There is a difference, because if somebody is studying with the desire to understand the subject matter, the other thing will naturally come, right? To pass the exam or even to top the exam, that will come naturally. But some people may study just with the intention to pass. They may cram the book, pura ratta laga liya. They may pass the exam, but they don't understand any subject matter. After some time, they will forget everything. Then what is the point? That's why Krishna is saying here, Karmanne eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Do your duty, but without being attached to the result. Why? Why you should not get attached to the result? Ma karmafala hetur bhur. Because you are not the cause of the result. Result is not in your hand. Don't consider yourself to be the cause of the result. And that's again going opposite to mentality of most people. Because when we do some karma, when we do some work, and when that work gets completed successfully, we think, I did it. I am the reason behind this. That's why this work got complete. I am behind this project. Because of me, this project got completed. Hey, some player, cricket match going on, and last over, last few balls, and they need so many runs, and the player hits 3 sixers in a row. They will think, I am the one who got this, who won this match. And because of me, the team won this match. So people have the tendency to claim the credit. But Krishna is saying, do your work, don't get attached to the result, and don't claim yourself to be the doer. Okay? That is what philosophy Krishna is preaching. And then fourth thing Krishna says, Mate sango astava akarmani. Why Krishna had to say this thing? Because somebody may think, okay, if I should not be attached to the result, if I should not take the claim of that work also, then why should I even work? What is the point of working then? I can just sit on the sofa, lay down on my bed and don't do anything at all then. So that's why Krishna added, Mate sango astava akarmani. Don't think of not doing the work also. Yes, you do your duty. You do your duty. You do your work just as a matter of duty, without attachment to the result, without claiming the credit of that work, because there are many other factors behind the work. You are not the only reason of completing that work. This body is given to us by the nature, and Krishna, Bhagwan, is providing us the ability to work. He is giving us the intelligence to work. He is giving us the strength to even move our fingers. Agar Bhagwan strength na de, if Krishna does not give us the strength, we cannot move even one finger. We may forget everything. In the morning, you wake up from your sleep, it takes few seconds for you to remember, Arey, who am I? Where am I? Then you come back to all that consciousness, to all your surrounding. But if Krishna takes away all that memory, you will not even remember who you are when you wake up in the morning. So Krishna is giving us that remembrance. He is giving us that intelligence. That's why Krishna says, do not claim yourself to be the doer. Okay, don't take the credit of your work. Now Krishna is here bringing to the concept of nishkama karma. Do your work without the desire to enjoy the result. Okay, because earlier sakama karma was doing the work with the desire to enjoy. So Krishna is taking from sakama karma to nishkama karma also. Do your work as a matter of duty without desire to enjoy the result. Okay. Now, next part of this chapter, Krishna is talking about there are people who are taking to this process of buddhi yoga, bhakti yoga. They are sthit pragya. They are with steady mind and steady intelligence. So these sthit pragya people, they cut down this bondage of karma and they can become happy. They can cut down the cycle of birth and death also. And this is also called Atmaram. Sthita Pragya is called Atmaram. If you remember the acronym we use for second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we use the acronym Gita. G is for Guru, the first set of verses where Krishna takes the role of Guru of Arjuna. I, Krishna explained about our fundamental identity. I is identity. We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. Then G-I-T. T is explaining two duties. Two duties are, as I said, we have functional identity and fundamental identity. So we have two duties, our Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Swadharma means our functional identity working based on the bodily designation. Being in the role of father, being in the role of engineer or doctor. So doing our responsibilities based on the bodily designation, that is called Swadharma. And Sanatan Dharma means our fundamental identity. Being as the spirit soul, I am part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and I have a duty towards the Supreme Lord. Being his part and parcel. So that is called Sanatan Dharma, our eternal duty based on our fundamental identity. Now, the last section of this chapter, Krishna talks about Atmaram, Sthita Pragya, somebody who is with steady mind and intelligence. How does that person act? So when Krishna mentioned that this Sthita Pragya, they cut down this bondage of karma, Arjuna asked this question. Okay, what is this question? What are the characteristics of such person who is with steady mind and intelligence? Okay, how does he walk? How does he talk? How does he sit? Can you explain to me what are the characteristics of this Sthita Pragya, this Atmaram? Now when Arjuna is asking this question, how does he walk? How does he talk? How does he sit? He is not literally talking about the person, how he walks, talks and sits. What is the implied meaning behind this? Arjuna is asking, when Arjuna asks how does he talk, it means how such person react in this material world based on different situations, different circumstances when they come in life. Okay, because what is filled inside, that is what is going to come outside. And at the time of calamity, at the time of problem in life, how we react depends on what is filled in our consciousness. So how he talks means how this person react in particular challenging situations of life. Because he is Sthita Pragya, he is with steady mind and intelligence. And when Arjuna say how he walks, means how he engages his senses in this world. And when Arjuna is asking how he sits, means Arjuna is asking how he restrain his senses within this material world. So talking, that is very important. Everybody in this world want to talk. And even though we may not be verbally talking, we are mentally talking all the time. Our mind is constantly going on, proposing different thoughts, different propositions. And as I said, in challenging situation, how we react depends on what is filled inside. If you squeeze a lemon, what is going to come out? Lemon juice, not mango juice. Because that is what is filled inside. So same way when life squeezes us, what is going to come out of us? Are we going to speak all those nonsense things, gully galoch? Because if that is filled inside, that is what is going to come outside. Or are we able to handle those critical situations of life with a controlled mind, take a right decision at that situation, based on how developed our consciousness is. Okay, I will tell you one funny story. Once there was a spy. Okay, he was trained to go to Pakistan for spying, and he learned Urdu also, so that he really appears like he belongs to those people. He belongs there. So he learned Urdu, and his boss, he wanted to test him. Okay? And how you can test somebody? The same principle. When problem come in life, how you react. So his boss, he kicked him while he was sleeping, because he wanted to test, when somebody just comes and kicks you, what will you blabber? Will you speak shouting, yelling in your native language? Will he start speaking in Hindi, or he will be speaking in giving gali in Urdu? Right? So he wanted to say, is he really now trained up to speak in that way? So same way, a Krishna conscious person, a person with steady mind and intelligence, how he behaves. When Arjuna is asking this question, how he talks means how he react to the situations of life. When some problem come in life, is how does that person deal with those problems? So Krishna answers, what are the characteristics of such person with steady intelligence? And Krishna is calling that as Atmaram, a sage of steady intelligence. And what are their characteristics? They have given up the desires which arise from mental concoctions. Now they are not anymore working at the level of their mental desires, because our mind is constantly proposing us different thoughts and different ideas how we can enjoy in this world. But somebody who is with steady mind and intelligence, he knows that my senses and my mind, they are dragging me in different direction, and I should not become victim of that. He has given the desires which arise from mental concoction. Rather, he is satisfied in himself. He is looking for happiness inside rather than searching for happiness in the worldly objects. And such person is not disturbed in the threefold miseries of life. And what are these threefold miseries? In this world, there are three categories of problems which we have to face. One is called Adi Bhautik Kalesh. Adi Bhautik Kalesh means miseries which are caused by other living entities to us. Okay, so the misery is caused by other living entities. It may be your neighbor, neighbor's dog, mosquito, your own family member, your spouse, your children, causing some sort of misery. That is called Adi Bhautik Kalesh. And then Adi Atmik Kalesh. Misery is caused by our own body and mind. Our body gives us problem. When we start to grow old, there are so many problems which come. Knee problem, uric acid problem, diabetes problem, this, that. So many problems may come with the old age. And mind is constantly troubling us. And the biggest disease these days is mental problem, psychological problem. So our body and mind, they are constantly giving problem. That is Adi Atmik Kalesh. Then third is Adi Daivik Kalesh. Misery is caused by higher nature. Sometimes there is earthquake, some tsunami, some tornado. All these are miseries caused by the nature, natural elements. So these are the three categories of miseries which everybody have to face in this material world. And Krishna is saying, a sage of steady mind, a sthita pragya person, he is not disturbed by the threefold miseries. Why? Because they can see why these miseries are coming and what is the cause behind these miseries. So they don't get disturbed by that. They get enough tolerance power. They know how to just handle those situations, because I cannot do anything about those situations. There is no point in speaking negative ill about these things. अरे इतनी गर्मी क्यों पड़ रही है, अरे आज इतनी स्नो क्यों पड़ रही है, अरे बाबा, there is nothing you can do about this, there is nothing in your hand about this. So Asthita Pragya, he is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries. He is not elated when there is a lot of happiness. If somebody, he gains something, if he got a salary raise, he doesn't start jumping and dancing. Arey, tarakki mil gaya, promotion mil gaya. And if he loses something, he doesn't sit down and start lamenting and crying. So he stays equipoised in all situations. And then he is free from attachment, fear and anger. Bhitaraga bhaya krodha. So that is another quality of a sthita pragya. He is free from attachment, he is free from anger, he is free from fear. Because there is no cause of fear. When Krishna is near, there is no fear. Because he relies on the Lord, he knows Bhagwan hamesha mere saath hai. God is always with me. So he is not worried about all these different situations. And he knows how to control his senses from the distractions of this world, and he engages his senses rather in the service of the Lord. Okay, so restraining the senses from sense object. But how to restrain? Because the senses need a higher taste. When they get the higher taste, then it becomes easy to control them. So a higher taste one can develop when they engage in the positive activities. Positive activities in service of Krishna. Engaging our ears in hearing about Krishna. Engaging our tongue in speaking about Krishna. Glorifying Krishna. Chanting the name of Krishna. Tasting the food which is offered to Krishna as prasad. Engaging our ears in seeing the beautiful form of Krishna. Engaging our hands and arms in doing some physical service in the temple of Krishna. So in that way, when we engage our senses in the service of the Lord, they develop higher taste and then they can be controlled. So a sthita pragya person, he knows how to control his senses, how to withdraw his senses. And Krishna gives the analogy of as a tortoise withdraw his limbs. When the tortoise sees some danger, immediately he pulls his head, hands, legs, everything inside the shell. So same way, a devotee, he knows how to restrain his senses rather than letting them go free into this world and getting distracted. So these are some of the qualities of a sthita pragya. And then Krishna also gives what causes the fall down of living entity in this material world. How somebody becomes victim in this material world and falls down. Okay, very important, very beautiful text 62 and 63. Dhyayato vishayan pumsah sanghas teshopajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramashat buddhi nasho buddhi nashat pranashyati. So two texts here, Krishna is explaining the process of fall down in this material world, how somebody becomes victim and falls down into the pool of ignorance. Now, how does it start? From where does it start? Krishna says, Dhyayate vishayan pumsah. When somebody is contemplating on a particular object of enjoyment, what happens then? If somebody keep thinking about certain object of enjoyment, then sanghas tesho pajayate. Then they develop attraction for that object. Sangha. And when the attraction develops towards that object, then what happens? Sanghat sanjayate kama. Then obsession comes to get that object. Somebody becomes obsessed about that. They get a desire to gain that object. And then what happens? One will make plans how I can get that object. If they are not able to get that object, then what happens? Kamat krodho bijayate. Then it turns into anger, it turns into irritation, frustration. And even if somebody is able to get it, and later they realize, I was hoping to find happiness with this, but really there is no happiness, that also lead to frustration, leading it to anger, irritation. So kamat krodho bijayate. Once anger enters, what happens? Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Anger leads into delusion. And sammohat smriti vibhramaha. When somebody is deluded, their memory is lost. They forget about all the previous experiences. Even though somebody has put hand in the fire, they had that bad experience, but now they forget about that. So sammohat smriti vibhramaha. Because of delusion, memory is lost. Smriti bhramashat buddhi nasho. When memory is lost, then intelligence is destroyed. Because our intelligence is mostly based on our previous memory. based on our previous good and bad experiences. Right? That's how we are able to discriminate. Because we have previous experience, no, this is not good. This is good. I should do this. I should not do this. So based on our memory, we have certain intelligence. When memory is lost, intelligence is destroyed. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. And once the intelligence is lost, the person leads to complete destruction in this world. He falls down into the pool of ignorance. So that is the cycle of fall down Krishna is explaining. That's why Krishna says a sita pragya, a sage of steady mind. He knows how to restrain his senses. He is not affected by the sense enjoyment. Bhita raga bhaya krodha, his fear from attachment, anger and fear. But if somebody is not able to control, they lead to fall down in this world. And it starts with contemplating on that sense object. And I will give you a few examples. Okay, if a person falls in love with somebody, a boy, he sees a girl and he gets attracted to that girl. Now he is even sitting in his room while the books are open, he is constantly thinking about that girl, or girl may be thinking about a particular boy. So when they keep thinking about that, they develop attraction towards that person, and then their obsession comes. I want to get her, I want to get him. And if they are not able to get, if they go, they propose, and the person denies their proposal, okay, rejects their proposal, then what happens? Anger comes. Kamat krodho bijayate. Anger comes. Then what people do? If I am not able to get her, if I am not able to get him, nobody else should get her or him. Okay, then people have so much anger. They want to kill themselves. They want to kill other person. There are so many cases of acid attack and all that. Why? मेरी नहीं हो सकी तो किसी और की भी नहीं होने दूंगा. So this is, I'm just giving one example here. And you can take any example of some other particular example. You can take example of any food item. You have a desire to eat some particular thing. Okay? You want to eat pizza. The child told, when I come back from school, I want to eat pizza. And in the school, he is thinking about, घर जाऊंगा तो pizza मिलेगा. मम्मा ने pizza बनाया होगा. My mother must have cooked pizza for me. So he is thinking about pizza. He's developed attachment to that, obsession towards that. Comes at home, and he finds there is no pizza. Mother made dal chawal. Hey, beta, eat dal chawal. And the child becomes angry. He throws away the plate. I don't want to eat. I told you I want to eat pizza. But mother could not eat pizza. Maybe all the ingredients were not there, or whatever the situation is. But anger comes, and because of that anger, then everything else, memory is lost, intelligence is lost. The child starts yelling at the mother, and he throws away all the plate. That is the whole process of falling into the pool of ignorance. So there are so many examples like that. We can take examples from our real life situation. Somebody is obsessed about watching a particular movie, and he's searching. Where can I find that movie? Internet's whole time searching, spending so much time in finding that movie. I want to watch this movie, and wasting so much of time, and then so much anger come. Okay, if I'm not able to find this, whole frustration, and that frustration comes out at the family members, yelling at the family members because could not fulfill the desires, that attachment. So Krishna is giving very beautiful principle here. And then finally Krishna speaks about this principle of peace formula, how to become peaceful and happy in this life. What is required to become peaceful and happy in this life? We are trying to find happiness and peace in many different places. We have our different definition, our different measures of getting happiness and peace in this life. Somebody thinks if I get $1 million, $1 billion in my bank account, then I will become very happy and peaceful. If I get this position of director of the company, the president of the company, then I will become very happy and peaceful. If I buy this Lamborghini or this particular car, then I will become very happy. If at the age of 40 I am able to retire and go on world tour, then I will become very happy. So people have different measures of their success, of their happiness and peace. But even after getting all that, are people really able to become happy or peaceful? If somebody is working hard day and night with the goal to retire at 40, They work so hard, they compromise their health to earn the money, and then they spend that money to gain back the health. Now, if they fulfill all their goals to earn $1 billion or to have the branches of their company in all major cities of the world, after that, if they have a life-threatening disease, and you ask that person, okay, you fulfilled all your goals to what you had said earlier, to earn this much money or to get this position, now are you happy? What will that person say now? Now my goal is shifted. My goal is to become healthy again, to find the cure of this disease. Take all the money, but give me the health. Okay? Extend my life for these many years. So people's goal keep changing. Ultimately, what everybody is looking for? Happiness in life, peace in life. And Krishna here gives the peace and happiness formula. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya, nacha yuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavana het shantir, ashantasya kutah sukham. So ashantasya kutah sukham. So Krishna says, Nasti buddhir ayuktasya, whose intelligence is not connected with the Supreme, जिसकी बुद्धि भगवान के साथ नहीं जुड़ी है. नास्ति बुद्धिर अयुक्तस्य, whose intelligence is not connected with the Supreme, he cannot have transcendental intelligence, or he cannot have a steady mind. And without the steady mind or steady intelligence, there is no possibility of peace. And without any peace, there is no question of happiness. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Ashantasya kutah sukham. So what is the formula to attain peace and happiness? To become happy, you need to have certain level of peace in mind. And to get that peace, one need to have steady mind and intelligence. If mind is constantly running here and there, jumping here and there to all the various thoughts and various things, his mind is too disturbed, where can the peace be? How can he be peaceful? So for happiness, peace is needed. For peace, steady mind and intelligence is needed. For steady mind and intelligence, the intelligence need to connect with the Supreme. That is the formula. If somebody has everything of this world, but they are not connected with the Supreme, their intelligence is not connected with the Supreme, they cannot become happy in this life. The only process to get peace and happiness is to connect with Bhagavan. Okay, if we bring Krishna in the center of our life, then we have the chance of happiness and peace in life. So no God, no peace. If there is no God, there is question of no peace. Then there is no peace. So to find peace, know God, connect with God. And further, Krishna says, who can become happy and peaceful? What is the meaning of connecting our intelligence with the Supreme? So Krishna says, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires, which enter like the rivers into the ocean, that person can alone achieve peace, and not the one who is always striving to satisfy all his desires. So how to connect with the Supreme? When somebody is not chasing after their desires, who is satisfied in life. Somebody who is constantly chasing after fulfilling his desires, he cannot achieve peace. So in this world, people have completely wrong idea of becoming happy and peaceful. They think once our all desires are fulfilled, we will become happy and peaceful. Because our desires are not fulfilled, that's why we are not happy. Once desires are fulfilled, we will become happy. But sorry to let you know, today you may try to satisfy your one desire, but tomorrow some other desire will come. Day after tomorrow, another desire will come. These desires never end. These desires never leave a person. You cannot say at any point of your life that now all my desires are fulfilled, all my desires are satisfied. Even an old man at the verge of death, he is also filled with desires. Okay, Shankaracharya, he says, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashanavahinam jatam tundam gritva yati vriddho jati gritva dandam tadyapi na muchyati asha pindam. So Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, he explains mundam dalitam galitam pindam. So the person has grown old, his teeth has fallen out, all the hairs has fallen or turned grey. He is walking with the help of a stick. Still, the desires do not leave. Vriddho jati gritva dandam tadyapi na muchyati asha pindam. Still, the desires do not leave the person. So one cannot say, once my desires are fulfilled, I will become happy. Sorry, these desires are never satisfied. Today somebody may have a desire to earn $1 million. Once they earn $1 million, then they have desire to earn $1 billion. Today they have a desire to buy a Toyota Camry. 5 years down the line, they will have a desire to buy a Lexus now. After that, they have a desire to buy a Lamborghini now. So these desires never leave the person. So Krishna says a person who is not disturbed by the constant flow of desires, who is not chasing behind the desires, who is satisfied, can become happy and peaceful. Not otherwise. Because somebody who is holding on to these desires, trying to fulfill those desires, these desires are like the sand in the hand. More tightly you close your fist, the sand slips out of your hand. So same way, if somebody is trying to run behind those desires, trying to search for that happiness, somehow that happiness keeps slipping out of the hands. So if there is no happiness available inside, the person is always looking for external objects to fulfill their desires, to find that happiness externally. Rather, Krishna says, try to find that happiness inside. And further, finally, conclusion, Lord Krishna says, a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from greed, free from the sense of proprietorship, and free from false ego, he alone can find peace and happiness. So further few qualifications which Lord Krishna is giving. One is somebody has given up the desires for enjoyment. Okay. Then who is free from greed, free from the sense of proprietorship, and free from ego, false ego. So these are the qualifications to connect ourselves with the Supreme, connect our intelligence with the Supreme, and in that way one can find that peace and happiness. So material desires, I already mentioned. Then greed, because greed for material advancement is a great waste of time, and it is an endless chase. There is no end to the greed. As it said, there is enough for everybody in this world, but there is not enough for one man's greed. There is enough for everybody's need, but there is not enough for one man's greed. So greed can never be satisfied. So somebody who becomes free from greed and stays satisfied in life, whatever comes in life, this is Krishna's arrangement. This is how Krishna wants to keep me. This is all coming based on maybe my previous cycle of karma. So I am facing it. Either some positive result coming or something negative happening. So accepting that as plan of Krishna. And then free from ego. Free from ego is we have so much of false ego. And that ego is based on our wrong identification, because we consider ourselves this body. We identify ourselves primarily based on our functional identity. And that is what is false ego. So Krishna says when they give up this false ego, when they understand their fundamental identity, then all the quarrels can stop. The problem between two people is why? Because of ego. Oh, this person said this to me. This person did that to me. So Krishna says if somebody is free from that false ego, then all the quarrels can go. When the quarrels go away, when the disputes go away, then there is peace. And then they are free from sense of proprietorship. They don't consider themselves as the owner of anything. What did we bring in this world? And what can we take back with us? We came empty-handed, we will go empty-handed. Okay? क्या लेके आए थे, क्या लेके जाएंगे? So that is the principle came from here, who is free from the sense of proprietorship. So one should understand everything belongs to the God, and God has given to me as my quota to maintain myself in this world. And nothing belongs to me. So that is free from sense of proprietorship. And in that way, they can free from the miseries of this life. They can gain peace and happiness. And one last thing which I will mention to conclude this chapter. If somebody comes to that state of consciousness, what happens? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hayashu buddhir paryuvashishtate. So for one who thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, who have received prasad, mercy of the Supreme. So when we say prasad, different people have different understanding of prasad. For somebody, prasad means when you go to temple, you get that little sweet balls, little banana or something. That is prasad. Or having a full plate of meal in front of us as prasad. But in reality, in essence, what is prasad? Prasad means mercy of the Lord. So once somebody have received the mercy of the Lord, prasade sarva dukkhanam, then all their miseries are removed. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. So all the threefold miseries, they do not exist for that person. And in such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. One comes to the right understanding and they can know how to make decisions in life, how to live in this world. So we need to get the mercy of the Lord, prasad. Then our miseries can go away. And what is the meaning of miseries will go away? Means, will I not face any too much heat or cold, or this tsunami will not act on me, or earthquake or not act on me, or will my body not grow old? Will I never get any disease? So what is the meaning of these miseries will not act upon me? So what does it mean is, because the person is getting so much joy in God consciousness, in Krishna consciousness, the miseries of this material world, they do not matter. And the person has the right understanding why this misery is coming. As long as I am in this material body, it has to go through all these changes. So I should not worry about those. But I should try to experience that joy in Krishna consciousness. Okay, for example, if you have only one item to eat, you have only chapati to eat, and that chapati is also very dry, then you feel miserable. But if you have chappan bhog in front of you, and out of that chappan bhog, one item is not to your liking, then will you feel miserable? You will enjoy so many other varieties of food. So same way, when somebody engages in Krishna consciousness, when they connect themselves with the Supreme, जब भगवान के साथ जुड़ते हैं तो क्या होता है? It is like having छप्पन भोग a plate in front of you. Then the miseries of this material world do not bother, and one get enough immunity to face those problems of life. So now we need to understand how we can get that mercy of the Lord, how to receive that prasad, that mercy. And Krishna will explain that in the next coming chapters, how we connect our consciousness with the Supreme, how to receive the mercy of the Supreme, how to give up false ego, how to give up the sense of proprietorship, how to give up the sense of this desires for sense enjoyment. So we'll discuss that in the coming chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So I will end it here. Again, remember the flow of second chapter is Gita, G-I-T-A, G for Guru, I for identity, T for two duties, A for Atmaram. Okay, so I will conclude here, and let's see if there are any questions or comments. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? You can turn your cameras on, so I'm not looking at all the black screens. So let's quickly 10 minutes have a question answer if anybody has any questions, and then we will go through a quick Kahoot session. Okay, so we'll play a Kahoot game. I will tell you how to join in that Kahoot with the pen. So be ready. Have your cell phones, smartphones ready to join in the Kahoot. So let's see quickly if somebody has any questions or comments. So when there are no questions, then only two scenarios may be there, or maybe three. One scenario is either everything went over the head, did not make any sense at all. Second scenario is you understood everything. And the third scenario is maybe you were sleeping. You did not even listen. Okay. Okay, Manoj Prabhu, your questions are all clear. Last time you asked very good question. So hopefully it's all answered. And the overall flow was not too confusing. Hopefully it's all understandable.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Bit like, about karma, Prabhu. Like, you said 3 types of karma there: sukarma, vikarma, and akarma.
So not 3 types actually. So there is vikarma, which is the lowest, which is sin. Okay. Then sukarma, which is sakama karma, which is with desires to enjoy, but following principle of scriptures, by following the laws of God. So doing good karma. So doing bad karma, doing good karma. Then there is nishkama karma. Okay, nishkama karma means doing the karma without desires to enjoy. And then there is akarma, doing a karma in a way which does not bring any reaction. Okay, by connecting with the Supreme. So these are the classifications. So bikarma, sakama karma, nishkama karma, and then akarma.
Okay.
So again, akarma does not mean not doing work, but doing work in a way which does not bind us, which does not bring reaction.
So Prabhu, like vikarma for sure, it's giving us negative results.
Yes.
We are doing things which are not good, or which is not allowed for us. So karma is like keeping Krishna in a center and doing everything related to that.
No, sukarma, I will not say keeping Krishna in center. Sukarma is, yes, I am following the laws of God, but I am doing primarily for my own enjoyment. Okay, for example, yes, I follow the principle of scripture, doing particular karma kanda rituals, that okay, you do this particular puja, this particular yajna, and then you can gain this much opulences or this thing. So that is coming under the category of sukarma. Okay, but main purpose is not to please Krishna. Purpose is still to please myself only. I am using Krishna to please myself. Okay. Akarma means I am not doing to please anything. I am not doing anything to please myself. Rather, I am doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay, then it becomes akarma. That is what doing things keeping Krishna in the center.
That is akarma.
That is akarma. When we do things keeping Krishna in the center, that I am doing this thing for pleasure of Krishna.
Okay. And then people like with anyone's behavior, if you are hurting some other people, so it comes under
vikarma.
Vikarma, right?
Yes. If you are hurting somebody, their emotion. Now, again, even though you may be doing something for pleasure of Krishna, but that other person is just getting hurt for no reason, right, out of his own false ego, then there is nothing you can do about it. But if you are intentionally hurting somebody, doing something to hurt that person, yes, that comes under vikarma. To harm somebody physically, emotionally, right? Then it is vikarma. Physically hurting somebody means like killing animals for our pleasure. Somebody want to eat meat, right? That is vikarma. That I want to enjoy myself. I want to do my sense enjoyment, my tongue enjoyment, and for that it does not matter to me. I'm ready to kill other animals. So same way, hurting other people, killing other people for my own satisfaction of ego. Right? People like this example of jihad and all. People say, oh, we are doing it for God. No, really, they have no understanding about God. We are killing people for God, for dharma. Whimsical killing other people, that is vikarma. They are actually doing for their own enjoyment, but rejecting the laws of scripture. They think we are doing it for dharma, for God, and we will attain to Jannat. Then we will enjoy with 72 hoor. Now, what is that principle? That is for their own enjoyment. Right? They have not love for God, but the love for hoor. That is what they are acting on that. So there are so many different examples we can take, like harming other people whimsically. That is vikarma.
Okay. And now, when you are on the receiving end, Prabhuji, like if someone is hurting you emotionally or like hurting your loved ones with their karma or with their, so is it like we can ignore them, or we can reply them back, or we can do some action, or let it be on the time, like, or let's just ignore them? Like how to handle this kind of situation?
Yes. So there are different principles to handle this. One is, as long as it's not hurting me on a physical level or putting myself and other family members into danger, one can try to ignore to a level, right? As what we call as tolerance. Tolerance means that you are tolerating, thinking it is my own karma. Let's say somebody yelled at you, right? Somebody said something bad words to you. Now we can just ignore this, thinking this was my own karma, which came in the form of this person. He just became an instrument to give me the result of my karma. Maybe I had hurt this person, insulted this person in the past, and now it is coming back to me. Okay, so that is one. Now another situation is, okay, to what extent can you tolerate? You don't want to keep on going on tolerating like this, that other people are using you as a rug, right? Like on a rug, people come and wipe their feet. So you don't want to become like a rug for others to just come and dump everything on you. So in that way, to protect ourselves, then we have to respond back. And if it is coming as a life-threatening attack, then we have to respond back accordingly. Because in scriptures also it says 5 type of attackers, or what is called aggressors, which can be reacted to. If somebody is trying to attack on us physically, okay, with a weapon, somebody is trying to put fire to the house, somebody is trying to steal away our property forcibly, somebody is disrobe the ladies, and somebody is feeding poison or something, again different method of hurting physically. So these type of aggressors can be attacked. Okay. For example, a snake is coming, a snake is there in front of you to attack on you, so you can attack back. A lion is there in front of you, you have to protect yourself. You cannot think, okay, I am a living entity, that is another living entity, so I should go and pay obeisances in front of the snake or the lion. You may understand that yes, this person is a living entity, but snake doesn't know. The lion doesn't understand that. So you have to protect yourself accordingly. Okay. So with that, I think we can end it here, and we'll open the Kahoot session. Whoever will like to play that Kahoot, please join the Kahoot. I will open it now.
Yeah, Vishal, I have a question.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Functional identity and the moving towards thinking from a fundamental identity perspective.
Right.
Um, Functional identity, as I understand from you, sorry if there is any ignorance in the way I understood. Functional identity is something that exists that we identify ourselves in this material world or nature. And then the fundamental identity is predominantly the way we identify ourselves when we transform ourselves into the spiritual world.
So,
is my understanding correct to some extent?
Yes, functional identity understanding is correct. The way we identify ourselves based on the bodily designation in this world, right? The examples I gave is that I identify myself as being an engineer. I identify myself as being the husband of somebody, father of somebody, or the owner of some particular house or land or business. So that is functional identity. The way we identify ourselves based on our bodily designation.
Right.
Fundamental identity is understanding ourselves in the essence, really who we are in terms of connection with the Supreme. That is our real identity, right? Fundamental identity. That ultimately, I am a spirit soul. I belong to the Supreme Lord.
Understood. So do we have to be really liberated in order to, I mean, to me, the way I understand, it's not really easy to identify ourselves on a fundamental perspective. Okay. It's easy that we try to think from a soul perspective and from a God's vision perspective, but practically it is very, very difficult to identify ourselves, to fundamentally identify ourselves. Should we be liberated, or at what stage of our spiritual transformation do we really start identifying ourselves from a fundamental perspective, from your experience?
Yes. See, we have to start from somewhere, right? Even at least understanding theoretically that I am a soul, I am part and parcel of the Lord. So starting from that theoretical understanding, then we try to come to that level of practical realization. And more we develop our higher consciousness by practically engaging in those activities which connect us to the Supreme, more we realize this fundamental identity. Saying, I am not a body, I am a soul. Yes, for saying it may be very easy, but to act on that platform is very difficult. Okay, that is which it takes certain level of realization, which comes with our experiences in this world, which comes with continuous hearing and reading of the scriptures, which comes with gaining some practical experiences in this world also. So when we have hearing and reading based on those fundamental identity, and then we see the things of this world with that vision, then it reinforces that. Okay, so these two things go hand in hand. We have to start with somewhere. We have to start at least accepting it theoretically, then continue hearing and reading, and then we experience in this world also that yes, I read in Bhagavad Gita, this material world is dukhalaya, it's full of misery. And then you experience that also in this world. Yes, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, this material world is miserable. People are trying to find happiness in different places, but ultimately they end up in suffering. Yes, it is so true. That is what I'm experiencing in this world. So it strengthens that thought, that particular understanding.
Okay. Understood. Good.
Okay. Thank you.
It's a natural process, and we have to transform ourselves to really start thinking from that perspective.
Yes. It's not that, okay, I have now taken shelter of a guru, he will put his hand on my head and all of a sudden I got vibrations in my body and I start acting on that level of realization. So it's not like that. It is a gradual process. We have to scriptural understanding and practical experience, we have to grow in that way.
Thank you.
But we cannot say, oh, one day it will come all of a sudden, then I will think. Right? We have to take a step forward at our end also. So this brings us to the end of today's session. So once again, thank you everyone for joining. And we will end it here. Thank you, everyone. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki
so much.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna.